Hey, Ray Del Vecchio here from websiteprofitcourse.com. If you're looking to set up a WordPress website, I bet you've been looking at hosting options and you've probably seen all the packages that are available from shared hosting to VPS, dedicated, and then you've seen WordPress hosting. I bet you're wondering whether you need to get WordPress hosting to set up a WordPress website. So we're going to talk about that today. First, let's look at standard hosting. And I just want to note that I'm not going to go through all those package options that I just mentioned. I have a full website hosting tutorial, which I'll link up here in the top right if you want more of a background on web hosting in general. In this case, I'm wrapping up pretty much all of those generic hosting options into this slide. The big difference between standard hosting and WordPress hosting is that standard hosting, your average shared hosting package, it supports all types of platforms. You can build any type of website on there. WordPress is obviously one specific platform to build a website on, but there's thousands of others. Two other popular ones are Drupal and Joomla. There are also content management systems like WordPress. You can also do custom code. Now, because of that, the customer support that you're going to get with shared hosting is only for your web host. They're not going to help you if something in your code goes wrong or something in the platform goes wrong. So generally, if you have a problem with WordPress, if some type of error comes up because of your theme or your plugin, the customer support representative that you talk to for a standard hosting package, they're not going to be able to help you with that WordPress specific problem. The obvious benefit of going with a shared hosting package is that it's the most affordable way to get online. Now, because it is generic and because the server is set up to support all these different platforms, you have to optimize the WordPress site yourself. You got to do things to increase the speed. It's not going to come out of the box just ready to go blazing fast and all that. So you're going to need a little bit more knowledge if you're looking to get set up with that cheaper shared hosting package. However, I absolutely recommend this for beginners because it's the most affordable. Now, the benefit with WordPress hosting, and you may have seen this also called managed WordPress hosting, is that they optimize their servers 100% for WordPress. So if you don't know anything about WordPress, it's built with PHP, which is a scripting language, and all the content in WordPress is stored within a MySQL database. That's kind of like the geeky tech details of it. But they make sure that those platforms are up to date as fast as possible. All the settings are ready to go out of the box. And on top of that, they implement caching, which is just a way to save web pages instead of having to go into your database. Because every time that you get something from the database, it's a little bit longer of a process versus hard coding that onto a page. And that's what the caching does. I actually just released a complete video talking about WordPress caching. I'll link that up here in the top right. Now, with shared hosting, you're going to be sharing your hosting platform with other websites. With managed WordPress hosting, you get dedicated resources. That's another performance optimization. So that means that other websites on a shared hosting package can sometimes drag your performance down. That won't happen with managed WordPress hosting. Another great benefit of managed WordPress hosting is that the customer support can help you with WordPress. And I have a couple of websites on managed WordPress hosting along with multiple client websites on shared WordPress hosting. It all depends on what's the right fit. But I could just tell you that I've had a few WordPress issues with managed WordPress hosting, and the customer support is far and away better when it comes to WordPress than when you're on a standard web hosting package where they're kind of just going off of like an FAQ page and they give you a really scripted response. The knowledge of managed WordPress hosting customer reps is a lot better. On top of that, you're going to get added features like automatic backups. Many of them come with a CDN. That's another added feature for speed that delivers your files from multiple locations across the world, depending on where the user is downloading the website from. So they pick the closest location to the user to make sure that your files are delivered as fast as possible. They usually come with staging areas. You can build your website on a staging area and then launch live to your main domain. Or if you have a complex WordPress installation with a lot of plugins, you may want to manually test the plugin updates to make sure that doesn't break your site before you push that to your live domain. And on top of that, there's also other security features that are built in that are going to help protect you against malware and hacking. I do want to mention a few reasons why you don't want to pick WordPress hosting. And we kind of went over a few of these. It's more expensive than shared hosting. So you're usually not going to get a WordPress hosting package that's managed for under, say, $25 or $30 a month. If you contrast that with the introductory offers for shared hosting, that can be as low as $2 or $3 a month. and you can lock in that price for up to 3 years. So managed WordPress hosting is not for beginners just getting started that don't have website traffic. It's usually for small to medium business websites or blogs that have already been established. They have traffic and they're having some performance issues. Either that, or you do have a little bit of money to spend where you have the luxury of setting yourself up on the best hosting package from day one. The last note here is that because WordPress hosting packages are completely optimized for performance, website performance, they don't bundle email addresses with the hosting package. That means that you have to set up your custom domain email with another provider. So you're going to have to separate those out, whereas with shared hosting, all that comes bundled together where you can set up a custom email address right on your shared hosting platform, and you can either set up an email inbox or just forward that to an existing address. So I hope that these pointers help you out so you can make the best decision for your particular situation. I'll link up a video here in the top right where I go through these 4 hosts that I have listed here. These are my favorite options to get started. For beginners, if you want the most affordable option, it's best to pick a shared hosting package because you can absolutely set up a WordPress website on shared hosting. My 2 favorites are HostGator and Bluehost. They get you up and running for the lowest cost. A hosting company that I've recently used, which I think is a better option, is SiteGround. They're kind of a good middle ground between the high-level managed WordPress hosting packages and the lowest level, most affordable shared hosting packages. You kind of get the best of both worlds with them because they have better performance, but they also do bundle in email where you can set that up right from the SiteGround admin area. And the company that I use to host my blog is Kinsta. I chose them when I was looking at the companies that had the highest performance, and they came up over and over again. I shifted over to them because when I first started out, I had a reseller package, which is basically just shared hosting for unlimited websites. And I was combining my own personal websites, my blogs, and my client websites together. And then when my blog started getting more traffic, it was pulling down the performance of my client websites. So I decided to separate them. Now that I got my blogs on Kinsta, their performance is just through the roof. So I'll include all of these links in the description below. Now I'm guessing that if you're asking questions about WordPress hosting, you probably want to learn a little bit more about WordPress too. I put together this quiz where you can get my best step-by-step training that fits your experience level and your goals. It's only 2 questions. So if you go to websiteprofitcourse.com/quiz, you can answer those questions and I'll send you the best training possible. Last but not least, give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get any future WordPress or freelancing videos. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And most importantly, I don't want you to overthink this step. Hosting is one of those things that you can always change. You know, you're not locked in for 5 years or 10 years. You can go year to year. Some of these you can go month to month. What really matters is that you're building your WordPress site, you're putting content out there, you're being transparent, you're showing your personality, you're helping people. That's what moves you forward online. It's not the technical background and having the best hosting setup. I've seen so many people that struggle over this decision, and I always tell them, pick one of these and get going. You'll be able to learn on the fly, and you'll learn so much more once you have a website out there versus watching all these tutorial videos. Thanks for watching this entire video. I'll link up a few others here if you'd like to keep learning, and I hope you join me on the next one.